this thing in. It's not too easy. Alright, here we go. Need 2 hands on this one, guys. Trick is to line up this pin here. You gotta line it up on there's sort of like a dowel pin on the casing there. Trick is to line that up and then try to thread this by hand and not with a ratchet or anything, because you don't want to cross thread this puppy. Luckily it's you can remove it from the block. It's not part of the block, but that's what makes it fun. What's going on? Now this is tricky. Timing belts on these Subarus are very tricky, especially on the driver's side or the left hand side, or whatever you want to call it. They tend to back out all the time. They tend to come off the camshaft crank, or I mean the cam wheel. Gives you headaches and stuff, but I found a trick. The trick is what you gotta do is you gotta take the tension off this side here on the passenger side, making sure that the timing mark's not off. Yeah, it's still in a good place. What I do is I pull on it here, wink, and then what happens is then I wrap it around the cam wheel here, and I push her down as far as I can, and then I bring in my tensioner, and then I thread it in by hand, as you can see. And you see the timing marks are pretty good still. So I'm going to thread that in by hand. Thread it in by hand, and I'm going to torque her up, which is I think it's 39 Newton meters. I'll let you know what that is in foot-pounds soon. You can see the thread here. There we go. It's going good now. Going good. If you find it's too hard to do it with your thumbs and whatever, fingers and all that, you can use a socket. Use a socket in there. That way there it'll be easier to get around. Save your fingers. So you can use a long socket and you just go in there and you just turn it with your hand. I don't trust the ratchet. I'd rather feel what's going on. There we go. She's bottomed out now. Now what I'm going to do, everything's finger tightened. I'm going to set my torque wrench. Set her to, and it is 39 Newton meters or 39 Newton meters or 29 foot-pounds. That's not a lot. 29 foot-pounds, and I had my baby. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, I found my socket finally. Yeah, clean it done. Alright, let's start this. This is aluminum, so be very careful. You gotta really follow the tow specs. You want to strip these puppies. There we go. It's done. Get the tensioner here. Now before you take the pin out, make sure you put that last pulley that I told you about before. Leave out. And the lip on it. So right here. Okay. Lip. So what you gotta do is you gotta come down here. What you gotta do is put the lip on your timing belt. Find the place for the screw. And play. And board. There we go. What you gotta do is you gotta find a hole for it. What you gotta do is you gotta push up the timing belt. Push up the timing belt. Make sure the lip is behind the timing belt. There we go. There we go. And come over here. And make sure the bolt is out so you can put it flat against the block. What the heck is going on? No thumbs today. What's going on? Oh God, am I ever thumbs today? One of those days. Okay, there we go. Must be camera shy or something, I don't know. There we go. Alright. What you gotta do is you pull up and you wiggle it inboard or whatever you want to call it, and my aircraft. Side to side, you pull it up and then you turn the bolt by hand and you'll feel it go in and blah blah blah. Come on. You got it. I got it! Yay! Alright, finger tighten that. Shouldn't have to worry about it. You just push up on it, finger tighten it. There we go. Torque that puppy down. Same thing. Same torque. Not hard to do. Come on, baby. Do-do-do. Holy crap. My spinning is butter. Oh. Yeah, cheat a little. So I'm using my torque wrench as a ratchet. There we go. Bottom out. Use the torque wrench. There we go. Everything's all nicely torqued up. Now it's time to pull on the pin. Not a grenade. It must be fun pulling pins on grenades. I'd love to do that. Anyways. So, that's it. So everything's ready. Tensioner's in. Make sure the timing marks. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now don't go crazy about the driver's side timing mark, because when the tensioner lets go, it'll pull the cam back. I wouldn't worry about it. So here we go. Boink! Here we go. She's in. There she goes. So what I like to do to make sure that everything is all nice and fine and dandy, take off this trusty whatchamacallit, breaker bar with the 17mm on the end. Come over here, go my trusty 22mm again. There we go. What I like to do is I like to test. I like to spin it around by hand. Make sure everything is good, but of course it's in gear, because I had to back out the bolt before. Oh, geez, that's good for the transmission, but anyways. Alright. Always turn it by hand. Always turn it by hand before you start it. Turn it with the starter. That way there you know if you did it right or not. You know? An extra 5-10 minutes, who cares? You know? It's better that than spending money on a new engine. You know, you don't want to do that. Okay, see the timing marks coming back up there. Alright, let's see what she looks like. You know, there we go. Passenger side looks good. You can't see it though. It's right there. That's pretty close. Whoops, one just a little over. Doesn't matter, you can always back it up, doesn't matter. It's an engine. Nothing, no rocket science in here. See? She's where she should be. And she's where she should be. Alright, so that's it, guys. Let's install the timing belt. Now to put everything back together is the same thing as removing it, obviously. So then what you're going to put on is the black cover. Put that puppy back on. And then the crank pulley goes back on. And then when I get there, well, don't really need to do it, but it's 130 foot-pounds. Now remember to put it back in gear. 5th gear, and especially if it's a manual, and don't forget to wedge something on the brake pedal and between the seat, or have somebody just sit there and hold the brake pedal for a couple of seconds while you torque that puppy down, and that's about it. That's how you change your timing belt in Subaru. Can't be any easier than that. Alright, take it easy, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. It wasn't too boring. Bye bye.